Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. Today we're gonna be putting together a card using a stamp set from the Stampin' Up catalog. My name is Heather and I'm with Heather Felke Creations. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I just recently started with Stampin' Up, so I don't have all my supplies yet, but once that comes in my next video, I'm going to be showing you what comes in the $99 June startup kit. It's a mini kit, and so I'll walk you through with what I chose as my selections for that kit. But today we're going to be focusing on our on this card that I'm making today. So I borrowed this stamp set from my upline. Actually, she is another demonstrator, and this is a current set that was in the 2009-2010 catalog. It's also going to be in the 2010-2011 catalog, so it's not one of the ones that are going away. This is the Fifth Avenue Floral. It's a beautiful set and actually has an embossing folder for the Big Shot that coordinates with it, and as you can see, there's several different flowers here as well as sentiment that comes along with it. So there are 5 stamps in this one set. What I've done is I've taken the glorious green cardstock here and I used my Whisper White ink and I stamped it several times. This was a full sheet. I've already cut some of them out already, but I used this or I should say I stamped it several times, then that way I can make multiple cards, and I'm only designing one card, but I can send multiple cards to multiple people. Then I use Real Red for my roses, and I just use some classic black ink. You can also use the Stays On black ink. Either one works. They're both really nice inks. So that's the Glorious Green and the Real Red for my flowers. And I use the white cardstock here. On the white cardstock, I cut it down to 4 1/4 by 11 inches. Then what I've done is I went and scored in the middle at the 5 1/2 inch mark and folded it in half. I used my black ink once again to stamp the sentiment down in the bottom. Then what I've done is I have already pre-cut here, but I have cut down at 2 1/2 by 5 1/2 inches some black cardstock, and I just attach it to the front here. You want to make sure that you don't cover up your sentiment and you leave a little bit at the top as well. Then what I did was I took my flowers, after I cut them out individually, I cut around the edges, but I still left some green around the edges on the outside and some red around the roses on the outside, just to kind of give it a little more color to it. And once I've got those cut out, I placed them down and I used some pop dots on the red, or some dimensional, to pop up my red rose, and I'll show you a sample card here in a minute. I've cut some red satin ribbon that's going to go right in the middle here, and instead of adding the bulk of the ribbon where you put it on the back, bring it around and tie it forward, I wanted to kind of reduce as much bulk as possible. So I like to cut my ribbon a little longer than what it would normally, or what it would take to fit the card, and then I cut a second piece, and on my second piece all I do is I wrap it around like so, and then I tie my little knot. Once I get my knot tied, I could then move this around so it's where I want it to go, and then I just use my snail adhesive to tack it down. Snail adhesive works wonderful with ribbon. So that's what I've done with the ribbon. I've pre-cut some strips because I'm going to be making some multiple ones, and then I just added some faux stitching using my Uniball Signal White ink gel pen. So this is what my finished card looks like. I tried to do a video where I walked through making it, and unfortunately it was a bit too long with me cutting out the flowers and whatnot, so I thought I would show you the steps since I'm going to be making more of these. And then this is what my finished product looks like. So it looks like that. It's a real fun, easy, quick card, and I think it's just beautiful. I think just the red, the black, white, and the green is just very striking. So I think this would be a card that any woman would love to get, whether it be a friend, sister, mother, grandmother. So that's my card, and in my next video, again, I'm going to be going through my welcome kit from Stampin' Up! So look forward to that. Again, my name is Heather. I'm Heather Felke Creations, and be sure to check out my blog at byheathercreations.wordpress.com. Thanks for joining me.